What's happening, boxing world and fight fans? I am your host, Nice, and welcome back to the Fight Room. If you're not subscribed to the channel, make sure you do for the latest boxing news, feedback, and entertainment. Now, I wanted to talk about Errol Spence, Pacquiao, and of course, Terence Crawford. And right here on ESPN Ringside, I wanted to talk about this right here. Bud's list, and he wants to fight Pacquiao before he fights Spence. So let's talk about it. Why is that? Well, this is what Bud had to say. Pacquiao, then Spence. I say Pacquiao first because he doesn't have much longer in the sport, and I want the name on my resume. Now we have to talk about that. I say Spence because that's the fight everyone wants to see. So there you have it. Of course, he wants to fight Pacquiao first and then Spence. Now let's talk about it. Now, I seen the interview with Bob Arum on Fight Hub. Shout out to Fight Hub, and I'll see if I can link it in the description below. It was about a year and a half ago. Bob Arum was asked about Crawford and Manny Pacquiao, and he had said that he had spoke to Pacquiao before about it and said that Pacquiao said that he wouldn't want that fight because of Crawford's skill set and he would know the outcome, end quote. Now, that was about a year and a half ago, and then about recently, he was asked again about Pacquiao and Crawford, and Bob Arum said that he wouldn't want that fight to happen because it would be a devastation for Manny Pacquiao, end quote. So yeah, Bob Arum is stating that. So what do you guys think about that? Is it true that Crawford's skill set is too much for Pacquiao? You know, he is a switch hitter, southpaw, can do everything. And of course, to me, Crawford is pound for pound number 2. I got, Canelo number 1 right now because of what he's been doing for the last 2 or 3 years. And, Crawford has been not fighting the guys that we want him to fight. And another thing that amazed me about the interview with Bob Arum with Fight Hub was that he wasn't interested in, a fight with Crawford and Danny Garcia. He said it was a fight that nobody wants to see, really, right? So then after that, he says that he's really looking forward to the 140 pounders of right now, as Jose Ramirez, Prograis, and Josh Taylor, that they're going to be future 147 pounders, and he is looking to those guys. So what does that say? Does that say that maybe he's given up on, fights with Spence and looking forward with Porter fights and, the PBC fighters? I mean, it sounds like that to me, and I hope not, because we all want to see, the PBC fighters fight with Crawford. I mean, these guys about, the 140 pounders, Prograis, Ramirez, and all, that's future. We want to see Crawford fight the big names now. And not to mention, of course, Keith Thurman about a week ago was stating in an interview with PBC that he would love to fight Crawford, and he is wanting to sign the contract. He said send it, pretty much send the contract, and he's going to sign it. And it would be just great if that could come to fruition, man, because I want to see Crawford fight one of the PBC fighters, honestly. Like, let's just make one of these fights happen. Now, I'm here on BoxingScene. They put something up earlier, and let me just read what it says here by Keith Idek. There was a time when Bob Arum was sure we'd never see a Manny Pacquiao Terence Crawford fight. Freddie Roach, Pacquiao's trainer, didn't like that fight for the Filipino icon when Arum's company, Top Rank Inc. Corporation, represented Pacquiao. Even Arum himself didn't think Pacquiao would have a chance to defeat Crawford because Crawford was too good and too young for him. So there goes what I was stating about just a minute ago about Bob Arum saying that the skill set was too much for Pacquiao. Let me continue on. A few years later, Arum finds himself exploring the possibility of finally putting together Pacquiao Crawford. There are tentative talks Arum told BoxingScene.com to make it happen. We'd had to do it outside of the United States and outside of the Philippines, of course, and we have to make it work with a big site fee. Pacquiao parted ways with Arum after his surprising loss to Australian underdog Jeff Horn in July 2017, but the WBA welterweight champion apparently is willing to work with his former promoter to secure the Crawford fight. For Crawford, fighting even at 41-year-old Pacquiao would afford him the high-profile welterweight fight he has sought since the WBO champion moved up from the 140-pound division 2 years ago. So they're trying to make this happen, as you can see by the boxing scene that Bob Arum has spoke to them quite recently. Continue on. I had feelers out before all of this happened with the coronavirus, Arum explained, where it was pretty much down the line about getting Pacquiao Crawford fight on late in the summer or in the fall. Then of course everything blew up. But I am optimistic that I will be able to continue with these talks in the next months or so. I talked to Terence and the trainer manager Brian McCleary about it. It appears to me that Crawford and Pacquiao want to go ahead with the fight. So there you have it. These guys want to make it happen. Supposedly now Pacquiao, like, Arum said a year and a half ago that Pacquiao didn't even want to make that fight happen, that, the guy was too young, too skill set or whatnot. But we see that now Pacquiao wants to fight him. If this is what Bob Arum is stating, and if it's true, then Pacquiao is now changing his mind and is willing to fight Crawford. Let me know what you guys think. Like, comment, subscribe. You already know it is your boy Nice. Don't forget, most of all, share the Fight Room.